I'm the first one to do that. I bet you never knew that. Back like a tailbone. Who you got the tail on? If it ain't about me, about whole D, about face. If you ain't on higher, learn it. The soda in the pot and the fire, burn it. This shit is so dope. You might wanna be my guest. This shit is so dope. You might wanna be my
Berserk, which is called Kenpu Denkai Berserk in Japanese. Man, I had a hard time pronouncing that. It sounded good, but trust me saying it was pretty difficult. That was a mouthful. Okay, let me get the script. I'm cheating now. Yes, it's a Japanese television that is based on Kentaro Miura's manga. His manga series is based on the same name that has been published by Nippon Television and VAP Studios. It is firmly licensed for English release in North America by Media Blasters. Guts, a wandering mercenary, joins the band of the Hawks after being defeated in a duel by Griffith, the group's leader and founder. Together they dominate every battle, but something menacing lurks in the shadows, pushes Guts' fate further to a hellish nightmare. I thought this anime was... I was gonna say good, I was gonna say fantastic, but that's not even close to describe how I feel about watching this project. This was a hellish ride, man. This is a hellish ride. Now, Berserk came out in 1997. 1997 was when this anime was released in the US. And I was only 7 years old when I came across it. So I was young. I was a minor. Okay? So that was my first time watching this project. And honestly, a lot of other anime fans that has watched animes like this back then normally bring Berserk up, saying that this was the first anime that they watched that put them into the anime hookage of them just being on board to animes, and to begin with. But Berserk wasn't for me. But before Berserk, believe it or not, I was already introduced with a lot of other crazier animes. And the reason I'm saying crazy is because those animes that I've watched before Berserk, they hit me with a lot of hard punches. And they did not hold back their punches at all. But the reason why Berserk did not stand out for me as a kid was because they showed elements to the anime that did not make sense for me. It did not make sense to me at all. Which hints that animes like this are not for children. It's not for children. So I was not on board with that when it comes to me recommending people to watch it. And for me to tell people that it should be their first anime that you should watch if you want to be into anime. So I watched it now to refresh my brain. And I'm about to tell you right now, you need to check out this anime. This anime is crazy. And everybody that has talked about this anime and said it's this and that, and they brought up certain elements of the anime what got them hooked into the Berserk franchise itself, it's not an overhyped sequence. They're not lying. This anime is freaking crazy, and there's no other way to put it. The anime picks up at a fair pace, and the pacing of this anime is actually pretty uniquely done. Normally, we are introduced with different types of explicit content, elemental scenes, certain ways how this anime will produce itself by us like progressing through the story. But they showed all that in one episode. They showed a lot of gore. They showed a lot of profanity. They even show a lot of sexual references, and they even showed certain scenes on the first episode where a girl almost gets herself forced by these bandits, making her try to lick wine off the floor. And I'm like, wow, we're on the first episode and they're already showing all this shit. But that's because they want to show you everything on the first episode of what you are going to be into if you continue this ride. So before you let that seat lock you in with the seatbelt, you may want to stop now. But who want to stop, right? They show so much action. They show so much blood and gore in the first episode, and they actually show like a demon in the first episode too, just letting you know that this anime will have some demonic entities and demonic possession. I thought the first episode was very good pace. And I thought that the character development cycle was actually in a mysterious way done with perfection, especially when it came to how they was introducing the main protagonist. The anime focuses the whole project on Guts. This whole anime is based on him, his eyes, his experiences, his vision, and his true fate. We are introduced with his character even when he was a kid, and they showed us how he began to progress as he began to be an adult. And I thought his pacing was polished with perfection. I thought it was good, and just the name of his character explains everything of what he went through. I mean, for Christ's sakes, he was born out of a corpse. His mom was already dead, and he was born out of it, out of her body, out of her womb. They didn't explain much of it, but that was enough just to make me feel like, wow, this character is pretty interesting. And not only that enough, but his father, or his mercenary person who tried to train him how to fight, tries to kill him too, because he feels as if he was a burden, weakening his defenses, even though he was trying to make Guts get tough. But Guts ended up being tough by using a lot of things stacked against him and claiming it as his own strengths. As Guts gets older, as he gets through all these battles, and as him becoming a paid mercenary himself, he becomes even more bolder, he becomes even more of a badass, and above all, he's a person that doesn't take shit from anybody because of his past and because how ruthless this world is. And we see that by what we have witnessed in this project, and I thought that was very good pacing, especially when he is introduced to other characters that's going to put him in line and sharpen his image, which is where we're introduced with Griffith and Casca. I want to talk about Casca first. Casca was the character that is shown into the anime, and not in the damsel in distress way where she always wants to get rescued. She is a female that is just like Guts in a way where she is aware of how rough this world is. So she was sharpened in a way where she has to stick up for herself. If not, she is either going to be dead or she is going to be used. And I thought her character pacing was well done, especially when she ends up meeting Guts and they begin to clash differences with each other when it comes to them being stubborn, when it comes to them trying to survive, and above all, how they can relate to each other so they can both learn from each other's differences. She was basically the sword sharpener to Guts in certain ways, and he was to her, because whenever he did something wrong, she corrected him, and there was some times where she was very tough on a damn dude, and I'm like, damn, Casca, calm that shit down. But Guts was no spring chicken. I thought Guts would literally back down and literally just say that, listen, I will do whatever I want, but that was only when he was tired of her bullshit. But he stuck up for it, and he ended up owning up to it, and he was like, I would do better, because he knows that he is on the line of trying to make sure that they don't get killed in his own little careless needs. So at the same time, he puts her in check too, because she doesn't know everything, and she even makes mistakes. So they like to correct each other, and that way they bond end up being more irreceptible. And I thought that was very good pacing with both of them. Then we have Griffith's character. I won't say that Griffith was a very good polished character. I won't say that his character was bad, but I will say that his character was mysteriously well done. I'm sorry. I'm stumbling on my tongue because Griffith, no matter what I'm going to talk about with this anime review, Griffith is the character that I could not wait to talk about. Griffith's character, I'm going to speak about this in a slow pacing manner, and I'm going to gather my mind each time I talk. I'm going to be like a human being. Griffith's character was interesting. He was an interesting character. And when I see certain little like emotes or like emojis or like little photos on social media showing how Griffith is, I'm like, why is they saying all this stuff about Griffith? It's because of how his character is. His character is very mysterious. Oddly enough, we get enough information about how Griffith is when it comes to him being in the line of duty and how he is towards his comrades. He is a heartwarming person. I love that about Griffith. Griffith cares about his people. He cares about what happens to them, and above all, he cares about claiming what is his, and he demands so much respect. But it's not like he's an asshole doing it. He is a very up-to-class person. In fact, part of him kind of shaped me in a way where I'm like, damn, I need to be a better person when I be under pressure. Because there are times where Griffith is challenged by other people being jealous of him, or they just want to see if they can break him. And Griffith just sits there and smiles because he knows that they are beneath him. And they even get more pissed off. And it shows me that people and creators and directors and producers, they know how to do character creations very, very well. And it's been a while since I've seen an anime or just seen a project in general where I want to learn from this character. And I have been learning from this character, and that was Griffith. But that doesn't mean that Griffith is perfect. The reason I'm saying he's mysterious because whenever he gets pushed in the wall, or whenever the odds are stacked against him, this is when we begin to know how he is when shit is bad. He is a completely different person. He is a completely different entity. And we know how he is, but we don't know how they're going to execute his character, not until very later. And that's where we begin to see how human he is. And I thought that was a very well transformation to Griffith. Because let's be fair here. We know how Guts is by him losing everything. So we wanted to see him get better. And this happens. Same thing with Casca. We know how she is when she's under pressure. We saw how she lost everything. So she divided herself up to be a better person. And Griffith is basically the bridge that Guts and Casca used to walk on to get to where they was at now. But we never seen how Griffith was when he was under pressure. And that ended up happening later into the anime series. And I thought that was a good twist and turn to his character development cycle. Very well done with perfection, man. When it comes to these three characters clashing, when they begin to have these downtime sequences, and above all, when they begin to be in the line of fire of them trying to fight their way towards victory with these tough battles, when Guts joins them in their journey of the Bear of the Hawks, this is when we begin to see how the pacing of these characters play off. And I thought it was well done. When they show emotional scenes, when they show fighting scenes, or when they show death scenes, I was pulled in and I was immersed, not just by them three, but just by other side characters that was introduced to us. And I thought that was well done and well executed. And the reason why I'm putting a lot of strength into this pacing is because I've seen a lot of critics and a lot of reviewers talk about this anime, and they say that they liked it, but they didn't like the pacing of this. And part of me kind of understands where they're coming from, because when we get introduced to the action and the blood and gore, they don't shy away from it. So when they give us downtime, we want more of the action. Give us more of the action. I don't want to see no talking. But I feel like action that's where you start from. How about we get more chemistry with these characters? Not let these side characters feel like a piece of meat. And they have done well with the pacing of these characters, to the point where when they have episodes, when they do have downtime, when they do express themselves, not only do we care about them, but we begin to feel more immersed in them when they do get into the heat of battle. We do not want them to die, and that's what I like about the pacing of this anime. But it was actually a double-edged sword, because when they give us downtime, they give us so much downtime to the point where right when things got serious, I've already gotten half done. I already got half done with the project. I'm like, damn, I'm already on episode 20? Like, Jesus Christ. So part of me understood where it was coming from with this, but at the same time, I did not have a problem with it, because when things got bad, that was when my heart was racing more than normal, because I knew more about these characters, even if these characters wasn't really trustworthy to me. As we get enough pacing and dialogue and chemistry with these characters, this is when this anime begins to take off its gloves, put on its battle gloves, and use his gut sword and start slashing us in half with the immersion of the combat, showing us so much battle, so much blood and gore. And when they give us downtime, we begin to see the ultimate fate of these characters. I thought that it was well done, executed. I thought that each scene after episode 20, I was glued to the screen more than normal, to the point where I have not felt this immersed watching an anime in a long time. And I'm beginning to understand why a lot of old anime fans are saying that that Berserk was the first comer into the anime genre history, because this is something that is done with perfection. This is not just an action anime, but this is an anime of class, of very good character execution. Not one character that is introduced in this anime is a side character that you think is going to be gone in a couple of episodes, and then they just do some shit that we'll never understand. When they show a good character, they are trying to be good. When they show a bad character, they are going to be vicious. When they show a backstabbing character, they are a character that you really need to watch out for. Each character that is meant for something, they explain it in a way where they execute it in a way where it is acceptable. And I thought that the pacing, the execution, the fight scenes was very immersive, to the point where I really felt like I was in the hinges of me being a part of this anime, which I don't think that's a good thing, because I don't want to be in this damn timeline. Granting us for the final couple of episodes, we are introduced with the ultimate fate with these three characters, Guts, Casca, and Griffith, and all their men in one big package of unquestionable, unpredictable fate. And I think this actually is what made Berserk strong, is those last couple of episodes. You would not see it coming, even though they was explaining this since episode 5 or episode 4. But I didn't expect this to happen in such a tone where it didn't even feel like I was watching Berserk. Even the animation scenes was different. Even everything was completely upside down, to the point where I felt like I was watching the Neon Genesis, the end of the Evangelion movie, or I was playing the Drakengard other ending with the grotesqueries. And that's not a bad thing. I feel like when it comes to that type of ending, when it comes to those last episodes, it leaves us asking questions and talking. And I kind of regret watching this by myself, because I feel like if I was watching it with a few other people, we would just talk about it. Especially the way how it ended, showing everyone's faith, including Guts. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is wow. The outro and the introductions of this anime was great, was fantastic. I want to talk about the introduction first. After everything we go through with the anime, when it shows us the immersion, the blood and gore, not only that they also show us downtime for us to be, just to ease the soul, but they do it even more by introducing us to a melody tune of the whole introduction of the anime, by us just sitting down and relaxing, and sometimes just recollecting of what we just witnessed. But the introduction is kind of the opposite, because as the introduction starts, we get buckled in by this up to beat trappy song that really is very catchy to me, and I really can't get it out of my head, to the point where I didn't skip it at all. All it would just show is this Gus just sitting on top of a mountain, and he just gets his sword ready, and he just jumps, and it just shows other characters in the sidelines while we just hear, don't know why, don't know why, don't know what you say, don't know why, don't know why, don't know what you are. Overall, this anime is great. I really enjoyed this anime so much. This anime was fantastic in a way, to the point where I have to recommend it to every single person that is watching this review, or literally just on the fences of them trying to get into the anime genre. If you're not an anime fan by now, maybe Berserk will help you out on that. As you will see, I'm not done with my Berserk journey. So please stay tuned for more of my upcoming reviews on these, because after me watching this one, let's just say I'm a fan now. I'm gonna have to give Berserk an A-. When it comes to animes like this, I feel like these type of things, it's very hard to overlook, but at the same time, it can be overlooked, because people can be tired of the hype, saying that this anime is being brung up because people are following the hype train and they probably haven't seen it. I am very strict with my reviews. I am very strict with my ratings too. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about Griffith. That's the reason why I'm having very bad coherent thoughts, and the way how the anime ended. I'm very traumatized. I'm trying to shake this off. But they're not wrong. This anime needs to be watched. I wasted too much time already, but it was time well spent. You guys, take it easy. That's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for more upcoming reviews and anime videos headed your way. This is Hugo, your creative teacher, and you guys have a good day.